Hello everyone, I'm Priya Teli. In today's video, we are going to see a program for registration page for our quiz application. So let's see the program. In previous video, we have seen the program for uh, homepage for our quiz application. So in today's video, we will see the program for registration form or registration page for quiz application. So let's see how it looks. So this is how it will look at the end. Here we have these labels. These all are labels. These empty boxes are the text fields. This is a combo box, J combo box. This one. Here only we can select only one option out of the given choice. Then we have here text area where we can go and type something. Here there is no box, but this we are having this area, text area. Then these are the buttons, submit and reset. This is the title for our frame. This is our J frame. Here we have set our frame resizable as true. That's why we are able to click on this maximize button. It is enabled. So let's see the program. Now we have imported these 5 important packages, that is java.aw.color, java.awt.font, java.awt.event.star, javax.swing.star, and java.sql.star. Here we have our class name as experiment 10, which implements action listener interface. We have created the object for our JFrame class. Then we have all these swing components whose objects we have created, like JLabel, JText field, JText area, JPassword field. We use password field for this instead of text field, so that whatever we type here, it will be hidden to the user. Then we have taken here string array, in which we provide the strings, comma separated strings, which will be appear as an option in the combo box. So whatever we see here, these are passed in the form of this string array to the J combo box. Here we have created the object of our J combo box component class, and while calling the constructor, we pass this string array as an argument to it. Then we have this J button. So in our form we have submit and reset button. Then this is the constructor from where we call this for method. As usual, we have distributed our program into four blocks, and so these are the four functions, that is create window, set location and size, add components to the frame, action event, and the implementation for these functions is given below. So in create window function, what we do is we call the JFrame class constructor with the help of this frame object. Then we call all these methods, important methods on this frame class object, that is set title to set the title, and this title set is student details form. Then set bounds. So this is x coordinate, y coordinate, width and height. So if we see the form, our x coordinate is 50, so distance from x is 50. Our y coordinate is 10, so our distance from up, that is distance from y is 10, and the width and height is as per mentioned, that is 1000 by 1000. Then we have called this set background method on this get content pane. So get content pane dot set background. So we call here color class, that is color dot white. So that's why we have imported here awt dot color. This color class is from awt package. Then we have set the layout with the help of set layout method. So frame dot get content pane dot set layout, and inside that we have set it as null. By default it is border layout. Then after everything, we write frame dot set visible as true. Visibility of the frame should be set as true, otherwise the frame and the components inside the frame will not be visible. Then frame dot set default close operation, we have set it as jframe dot exit on close, so that we could close the frame when we click on this close button. Else if we doesn't mention this method, then we will not be able to close the frame even though we click on this button many times. Then we have set resizable method. So we have set resizable method and we have set it as true so that we could maximize our form. Else if we set it as false, then this maximize button will be disabled. Then we have our set location and size function where we have this implementation. We call these three methods, that is set bounds, set background and set font for each component. This object is for title object, matlab title label object. Then this is PRN label object. This is PRN text field object. For each object we call these three methods. And the font we set is the name of our font is Cambria. Its type is center baseline and the size we have set is 18 for each component. In this way we go arrange our components in a sequence. So for all these components the x coordinate is same, only the y coordinate is varying. And for these buttons x coordinate is same, sorry, y coordinate is same and x coordinate is varying. So as per that we are going to set, and here we have set the width and height as 440 for each component. Only for buttons we have set it as 140, width is 100, height is 40, else everything is same. We don't call this set background method for these buttons, so that's why the color for these buttons is default color. Then we have our add components to frame method, where after setting the location and size of our components, we add these components to the frame. So this is important step. If we don't add these components to the frame but only set and location and size, then it is not valid. It should be added to the frame, else it will not be visible on the frame. So we add these components to the frame with the help of .add method. So frame.add title, frame.add PRN label, all these are objects of that particular components. So and here the sequence is not mandatory, we can add it anyhow as we have set the location here. So it is not necessary to have sequence as per that appear in the form. It can be written in anyhow. Then we have action event method. Here we add action listener to the components which should invoke some event when we click on the particular components. So it is required just for these two buttons and not for the text fields. So whenever we click on these buttons, there should happen something so that whenever we click on submit button, then the form should be submitted, or whenever we click on the reset, the text field should be cleared. So that is the event that should happen after clicking on particular component. Let it be button, let it be action, let it be text field, anything, but in our case we have to just add action listeners to the buttons. So for that we use action listener method, and inside that we pass argument as this keyword, and this is only written if the method is in the class which implements action listener interface. If this method is inside the class which implements the action listener only, then we can write here this keyword as the class name which implements action listener. Then we have our action perform method, which is of action event class, and we have created the object for that action event class. So if e.getSource is equal to submit button, if a submit button is clicked, then this event should be happen. So we have specified here what should happen. So when we click on the submit button, we have to submit the data to the database, that is it should be stored into the user table. So for that the else further code is the critical code. It may raise exception, that's why we have written it into try catch block. So we have created connection class object con1, and we call the get connection method from driver manager class, and we pass these three arguments, which are this is a URL for JDBC, this is a username, and here comes the password. So this URL is fixed, just the changes will be here the host name, in our case it is localhost, here the port number of MySQL server, so in our case it is 3306, and here comes the database name in which our table exists. Then this is a username, in our case it is a root, and here comes the password, so in my case it is empty. So we have this prepare statement class, we have created the object for that, and we call this prepare statement method on the connection object, and inside that it takes query as an argument. So then what we are going to do is This is a parameterized query which is insert into user values, and we have given the question mark as per the number of columns we have inside our user table. So we don't know the values of these columns, what will be inserted into this column will be inserted into the text field. So we are going to fetch it with the help of setString method. So p statement dot set string, and the sequence is mandatory. We have to we have to insert the values as per the sequence of these columns. So which comes next after what, that is PRN, then address, then email, then contact number. So this sequence we have to maintain, and in that sequence only we have to fetch the details from the text fields in that way, and we have to mention here the numbers, sequence number. Then we have these string variables into which we are fetching the value inserted into these 4 text fields. We are going to use it for reference. So if these text fields are kept empty, that is if prn, this text field prn text field dot prn dot equals empty braces, that is if it is kept empty and user goes for submit button, then this message should be displayed, that is user id is missing. So for that we have used goption pane dot show message dialog method, and the object we pass is null. Similarly for other fields which are mandatory, we have done it for password, we have done it for email. So if it is kept empty, then we are going to display this message, the missing message. Then we have created the object statement class object. Then we call create statement object, create statement method on this connection object, and we have this string variable query inside which we have stored the query, that is select everything from user, so that we will be able to, what we are going to do is we are going to see whether the particular user is registered before, or else it is a new user. So for that we have to search into the table, user table, that whether this user id exists before. Then we have this result set object rs. We call this execute query method on the statement object, and we pass the query as an argument to this execute query method, and the results returned are taken into this result set object. So to iterate through the table, we are going to use while loop, and for that purpose we have this next method. So rs.next, it iterates throughout the row. So to iterate throughout the table to all the rows, we are going to use .next method. So we have this getString method, with the help of which we are going to fetch the values from the columns. These are the columns in our table, PRN and password. We are going to fetch the values from the table, and for each iteration it will be taken into these string variables, and we are going to compare it with the values which are inserted into the text field. So the value which is inserted, PRN which is inserted into text field, is taken into this PRN variable, and the pass variable consists of the value which is inserted into the text field, that is password. So we are going to compare it with these values which are taken from the table itself, and if it appears to be same or equal, then we are going to display the message that user id already exists. Else if it is not the case, then we are going to execute this above query. We are going to insert these values into the table. So for that we have this p statement dot execute update method. Then after successful execution, we are going to display the message that user registered successfully, and then the frame will be automatically set visible as false, so that the frame will disappear. The registration frame will be disappear. And if there is no any user already existing in the table, that is if table is empty, then in that case rs will not be, that is there will be no results returned when we select everything from user. So in that case, if not rs.next, that is if there is nothing in the table, if the table is empty, then we are simply going to insert the into the value, because if there is nothing inside the table, then with whom we are going to compare these values, that whether the user exists or not. So in that case we are directly insert the the values, that is we are going to execute this query. Then here also we are going to display the message user registered successfully. This is the exception handling code that is inside the catch block. Here are the chances of raising the SQL exception. So we have created the SQL class object, the E1, and we call this print stack trace method. Print stack trace method on this E1 object, which will display all the info regarding the exception which occurs. Then we have if e dot get source is equal to reset button. If a reset button is clicked, then each text field should be cleared. So for that we are going to use set text method. That is the particular object name for the text field dot set text, and inside that empty braces, that is the value which whatever the value is inserted, it will be emptied or it will be cleared. It will be set to as empty string. So then we have this class main. Inside this we have our main method. We can take this main method inside this above class itself, but I have taken another class for it, and inside this I am having the main method, in which I have created the object for the experiment 10 class, which is this above class experiment 10. So then when the constructor is called for this class, and from here itself we are calling all the other methods, 4 methods. Let's see how it looks. So here it is our registration form. So let's try to insert something. Here it is a text area. Here comes address. Say suppose sir. Then we are going to click on the submit button to insert these details. So new user ID will be registered in that case. So it is taking, there is some error, so it might be registered. So let's take some another roll number. Here comes the user registered successfully message. Then after clicking on OK, the frame disappears. In this way it works. So if you like my video, then please like it and subscribe my channel. Thank you.